Hello everyone, I welcome you all to our channel Best Notes Tutorials. This is Roshni Shah, and before moving into today's class, I would like to congratulate each one of you for getting through uh, Kendriya Vidyalay. You have put in really your 100% and a bit of luck was also there with you. That is why you have received appointment letter and you are happily going to join your respective jobs. I congratulate once again to each and every candidate who have put in 100% and those who could not make it this time. Don't be disheartened. Certainly something better is waiting for you, if not in Kendriya Vidyalay, in upcoming years in NVS or in state boards, somewhere you are going to get through. It is because whatever learning you have done through our channel, through others channel, that is not going to go in vain ever. So let's move into today's class now, and the class that I have chosen for today is the most renowned poet Robert Frost. Robert Lee Frost is his full name, and he was born on 26th of March 1874. In his lifetime he had received Pulitzer Prize for 4 times, and there were other several awards as well with which he was adorned. So let's see what is the biography of Robert Frost and what are the important works that we need to remember as a candidate. So let's begin with our class. Friends, Robert Frost, he was known as, his full name was Robert Lee Frost, and he was born on 26th of March 1874 and he died on January 29th, 1963. Okay, please keep in mind that there are three important MCQs. One, full name, date of birth and date of death. Next, he was an American poet. His work was initially published in England before it was published in the United States. Friends, it is because in England he had spent almost his half of his life. Because of different reasons he had to leave his country, that is United States, and then move to England. So there he got his initial works published, and later on that was published in United States as well. Now see friends, when we talk about his writing, he writes to reflect reality. Okay, realistic depiction, realistic description is seen in his work, and particularly he is interested in rural life of a farmer, life of a laborer, life of a person who is earning his bread and butter by trivial means. Okay, and these are particularly from village. Next we see the very important thing is Robert Frost was honored with Pulitzer Prize for poetry. Alright, and it was not only 1 or 2 times, it was 4 times. Next, he became one of the America's rare public literary figures, almost an artistic institution. Now see, he had written so much, okay, and all those works were concerning to the life of common people. Alright, therefore he was able to touch the heart and soul of common people, and therefore everybody had voted for him, and that is why he had become a literary figure. Okay, literary figure, an artistic institution. He was a person, but he accumulated entire institution. That means he had more knowledge, more work he had given to society. Let's move to the next point. He was awarded the Congressional Gold Medal in 1960 for his poetic works. Friends, now you might ask that what is the meaning of congressional? It means it is the highest expression of national appreciation by people. Alright, now who does distinguished achievement, who achieves distinguished status in society, they are given Congressional Gold Medal. This is just because of the appreciation of common people and critics as well. Alright, now see, this was given in the year 1960, and on July 22nd, 1961, Frost was named Poet Laureate in Vermont. This place is there in United States. Alright, so here we see that he is famous not only in England but in US as well. Now please keep in mind these dates, years and the awards as well. Alright, first of all, Pulitzer Prize. I will be giving details about all those 4 awards, date and on which work, for which work he has received. For now, you please remember that this is Congressional Gold Medal which he had received in 1960 for his poetic works, and another one was on July 22nd, 1961, when he was given the title of Poet Laureate. This is important for examination. Next, Robert Frost was born in San Francisco, California, to journalist William Prescott Frost Jr. and Isabel Moody. His parents' names are also important. Next important point is this one. He called his colloquial approach to language the sound of sense. Now see, you might get question on this. Who called the sound of sense? Who called his colloquial approach to language the sound of sense? You have to write Robert Lee Frost. Okay. Now what does it mean? It means that unless and until we understand the local language, okay, local conversational language, alright, we will not be able to understand their lifestyle as well, and we will not be able to penetrate into the life of common people. That is why we need to know their language, their way of living will be understood automatically. Next important point. In 1924, he won the first of 4 Pulitzer Prizes for the book New Hampshire. Please remember, this was the first Pulitzer Prize winning book, poetic collection, New Hampshire, a poem with notes and grace notes. Okay, so this becomes important. Next, he would win additional Pulitzers for collected poems in 1931, a further range in 1937, and a witness tree in 1943. So these are the poems for which he has received Pulitzer Prize. I'll be giving more details very soon. For 42 years, from 1921 to 1962, Frost spent almost every summer and fall teaching at the Bread Loaf School of English of Middlebury College at its mountain campus in Ripton, Vermont. Now see, in US, he became a teacher as well. Alright, so we see that he engaged in so many things. He was a farmer as well. He was into farming. Then he became a teacher, and he was already a poet. Because of life's ups and downs, he had to join these jobs. He is credited as a major influence upon the development of the school and its writing programs. Of course, being a poet, he was able to contribute much into the literary aspects of the school as well, and that is why he became renowned. The college now owns and maintains his former Ripton farmstead, a National Historic Landmark near the Breadloaf campus. See, after the death of the poet, okay, we see that whatever he had, okay, and wherever he was associated to, they had become a landmark. They had become a historic landmark, and it has made Robert Frost alive even after his death. Friends, keep on underlining those important points or keep on taking screenshots, otherwise you might be losing some important points, because competition has become so much vast, so much complicated. You cannot rely upon superficial information. All right, you have to go into the depth of the writers, poets, and then poetries and their works. Then only you'll be able to get through. So please remember the points that I am mentioning here, underline and make a note of it. In 1921, Frost accepted a fellowship teaching post at the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, where he resided until 1927, when he returned to teach at Amherst. So in 1921, he accepted the fellowship teaching as well. While teaching at the University of Michigan, he was awarded a lifetime appointment at the university as a fellow in letters. So here he was awarded lifetime appointment at this university. Next very important point is the home opened as the Robert Frost Stone House Museum in 2002 and was given to Bennington College in 2017. See, after his death, after so many years, his house was given to Bennington College, all right, where he had spent his later life. That was turned into college. In 1934, Frost began to spend winter months in Florida. In March 1935, he gave a talk to University of Miami. In 1940, he bought a 5-acre plot in South Miami, Florida, naming it Pencil Pines. He spent his winters there for the rest of his life. Now see, his retirement, I must say, his retirement or old days was peaceful one. Alright, he bought land and he used to write poetry. there, and is during spending his winters. For MCQ, another crucial point is during his lifetime, the Robert Frost Middle School in Fairfax, Virginia, the Robert L. Frost School in Lawrence, Massachusetts, and the main library of Amherst College were named after him. So, of course, he was a great poet, great poet. That is why his name was his name has spread to entire countries, not only countries but world, because even staying in India we are able to know who was he and what poets what poems he has written to influence our life. The poetry is like stopping by the woods in a snowy evening. It has made a place in my heart as well. And another poetry, Road Not Taken, which gives a correct guidance to newcomers not to choose the path which is very easy, which is very common, which has no challenges at all. So according to him, we should accept challenge, and that has made me become fan of this poet. Frost died in Boston on January 29, 1963 of complication from prostate surgery. Please remember this. He was buried at the old Bennington Cemetery in Bennington, Vermont. This is another thing to be remembered. Where was he buried after his death? He was buried in Old Bennington Cemetery in Bennington, Vermont. His epitaph quotes the last line from his poem, The Lesson for Today, which was published in 1942. I had a lover's quarrel with the world. Now see, in his epitaph means in his the graveyard, the stone at the graveyard, there it was written, the lesson for today, I had a lover's quarrel with the world. So this was written on his grave. We need to keep in mind that can also come in the MCQs. Next, let us look into the personal life of Robert Frost as well. Frost's personal life was plagued with grief and loss. His childhood, his life's adulthood was not at all easy as it seems to be. In 1885, when he was 11, his father died of tuberculosis, leaving the family with just $8. At the age of 11, his father died, and now the responsibility was on mother and Frost. Frost's mother died of cancer in 1900. Now, after around 15 years of the death of father, even mother died in 1900. In 1920, he had to commit his younger sister Jenny to a mental hospital, where she died 9 years later. Now see, we can imagine that father, mother, sister, all three of them died. So what could be the mental status of Robert Frost? Let's move ahead. Mental illness apparently ran in Frost's family, as both he and his mother suffered from depression. Now see, depression is not limited to rich people only or poor people, those who are economically unsound. It can happen because of different reasons, and we need to find out that what is the reason, and we need to diminish it as soon as possible. Alright, we should give importance to money and luxury to some extent only, because there are so many things in life which we are not able to achieve, but still we are surviving. Still poor people are surviving, and they are much more happier than rich people. Alright, so depression is something which will ruin our life. We will have everything in front of our eyes, but still we will not be able to see how useful these things are. And his daughter Irma was committed to a mental hospital in 1947. So here we see that his mother, father, sister, and his daughter, alright, everyone had problem something or the other, and because of which Frost was also not at peace. Another one, Frost's wife Eleanor also experienced bouts of depression. So depression ran in the blood of Frost's family. See friends, when we move further into the life of Robert Frost, we have more sympathy for him, and we want to empathize with Robert Frost. Why? See, Eleanor, that is wife of Robert Frost. Eleanor and Robert Frost had 6 children. Son Elliot, Alright, who was born in 1896 and died in 1900. Died of cholera. Okay, died of cholera. Daughter, Leslie Frost Ballantyne, born on 1899 and died on 1983. Now see, son Carol was born on 1902 and 1940. Till 40 he remained. At the age of 38 he committed suicide. Daughter Irma, 1903 to 1967. Daughter Marjorie died as a result of perpetual fever after childbirth. Next, daughter Eleanor Bettina died just one day after her birth in 1907. So, because of these deaths in Robert Frost's life, we can understand that there was some problem in his blood, in his lineage. Only Lindsay and Irma outlived their father. So, only these two were there who survived. Frost's wife, who had heart problems throughout her life, developed breast cancer in 1937 and died of heart failure in 1938. Now, see here, Robert Frost's life was not at all, full of luxury, full of happiness, because even after having money, he had some other problem in his life. Now let's transit to the work of Robert Frost. The poet and critic Randall Jarrell often praised Frost's poetry and wrote Robert Frost along with Stephen and Eliot. Seems to me the greatest of the American poets of his century. Now see, when Robert Frost was back to America from England, okay, he got his works published and then he became popular in his own place as well. So later on he became national poet of America as well. Now, Frost's virtues are extraordinary. The way he writes, the values related to his writing, poetry, is extraordinary. It's not common. And that something which is not common is obviously going to gain momentum in near future. No other living poet has written so well about the actions of ordinary men. We have been talking about the life of common people, alright, villagers who are working every day to get their 2 square meal in front of them. His wonderful dramatic monologues and dramatic scenes come out of a knowledge of people that few poets have had, and they are written in a verse that uses sometimes the absolute mastery, the rhythm of actual speech. Now see, when you see the poetries of Robert Frost, not all are in a systematic way. Some are in like a speech, it is written, okay, like free verse. So this is done to express more in a precise way. So that is what we find in his poetry. He also praised Frost's seriousness and honesty, stating that Frost was particularly skilled at representing a wide range of human experience in his poems. Now see, this is possible to express, variety of expression is possible when we are engaged with these people. Alright, when we see these people, when we talk to these people and we are amongst those people, then we will be able to know them, and poet Robert Frost has done the same here. Zarrell lists a selection of the Frost poems he considers the most masterful, including The Witch of Coos, Home Burial, A Servant, Two Servants, and there are many more, and all these we will be doing in our class again. Okay, so keep in mind that according to this critic, alright, these were the poetries which were close to her heart. The poetry that was praised by critics are directive, neither out too far nor in too deep, provide, acquainted with the night, after apple picking, mending walls. This has got momentum, the most of it. So all these are, into the bag of Robert Frost, and much more than this he has given to us. We will be going to all these works one by one, so stay tuned with me. Another work, masterpiece of
The poet is An Old Man's Winter Night. The Earthward, Stopping by the Woods on a Snowy Evening. My favorite poem, Spring Pools, The Lovely Shall Be Choosers, Design and Desert Places. So these are list of poems which are appreciated by critics.
Friends, tomorrow we are going to discuss all the topics of Robert Frost one by one. So stay tuned with us, especially with me, so that you will be ever ready for your examinations. Thank you, everyone. Do subscribe our channel if you like our content. Thank you and all the best.